Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Sand Shark Bites. I'm your host, James Duffy, and with me, as always, the corkscrew to my Swiss Army knife, Carlo Peruzza. How you doing, Carlo?
I'm doing good, man. Can't wait to do another one of these.
I'm telling you, it's been a good week. We pretty much wrapping up everything right now. We're heading into November. It's getting a little chilly, and sports are coming to an end, but soccer has extended themselves by at least one more week.
Heck yeah.
With a win over Johnson and Wales last Saturday, we are going to the Sun Conference Championships. We're going to go into the first round. As the last team to get in, I believe, we had to kind of wait and see what happened Saturday. We needed a win. We needed SCAD to lose. Both things happen. We get into the playoffs. And we turn around, and where are we going?
We're going to Southeastern.
We're going to Southeastern. Now, they were here just a week or so ago, and they put on a clinic for us.
As we said on the last show, Southeastern, of all the teams I've seen this year, and I think ever here, like covering USCB soccer, Southeastern, just the way they play, they're unbelievable. They got that one girl they have, Canoe. She is so good. I think 28 or 29 goals on the season, which is absurd.
They're playing at a higher level, that's for sure. And but we saw what they got. So with some innovative coaching and some reallocation of assets, maybe this coming Saturday in the first round of the Sun Conference Championship, you never know. There's a lot of talk, a lot of strategizing.
For the Sand Sharks, for sure. I mean, what Ed Heberling has to do is, I mean, his defense, we have a really pretty solid defense, and Ed's just got to somehow get them to contain the Fire offense. And I mean, that's a lot easier said than done.
It absolutely is.
It's not an easy task. But when you got defenders like Brooke Newman, Alison Schaefer, Brittany Neeser, they're really good players, and they can play some good lockdown defense. And you never know. I mean, we have our hands full. Oh yeah, but you never know.
That's right. So that's an exciting thing for us. We ended up the regular season 7-8-0. The conference we were 4-5-0. So these are nothing to sneeze at in our USCB records. We're constantly making improvements, and we're loving to see where this is going to end up. But yeah, Saturday, Southeastern, we're going to see what happens. I believe the game's at 1, but check uscbathletics.com before that and make sure we get some coverage for you.
Let's talk a little about that Johnson and Wales game, though.
Johnson and Wales, it was a long time. They were up 1-0 for a long time, and Danny Borhaus passes it across to Brooke Newman, and we get it tied up. And then it's a long wait, and MJ Orduña comes through one last time for us in the regular season.
Both of those players have really been outstanding this season. Brooke Newman, sophomore now. Last year she started as a freshman, and she was very impressive. I was impressed with her right from the get-go. And now she's just evolved. And what I like about Brooke Newman this year is she's becoming more of a leader. Like, I can see leadership qualities in Brooke Newman. And as we've been discussing in the past couple of weeks, we're losing a lot of seniors on this team right now, like Karen Pimentel, who's arguably the leader of the team. So we're losing her. And like Brooke Newman, she's one of those players, I think, like, that's the role she'll receive. Maybe her and Brittany Neeser could be like the co-captains of the team. Brooke Newman reminds me of like an Alexa Muffley type player.
That's the thing we think about here at USCB, not just for our athletes, but also for our students, is that they're here for such a short period of time, and the leaders really, for a year or 2 years, really blaze like comets, and then they're gone. And sometimes they leave such a darkness behind them, and we need other students to come in and fill in and be those leadership, fill those leadership roles, and that's whether it's doing communications, we're doing something here in the studio, whether you're out on campus doing something for student life, or whether you're on the soccer pitch being a captain. You all are here for live these lives of mayflies on our campus, and the rest of us old people sit around here and watch you come and go. I'm just getting older by the second. You can just watch it. Go back through and watch a couple of seasons of Sand Shark Bites, and you see me getting fatter and grayer, and it's just every day. Anyhow, moving on now, we've got a little more championship action this weekend. The Sun Conference is championshiping up everything.
They are.
So Ave Maria, Florida.
Yep.
Cross country.
Cross country should be good. I mean, we have some really good guys for our men's cross country team. Guys like Wesley Murphy and Christian Sladen. They're really strong, and so it should be interesting how they do. And I mean, especially for Wesley Murphy, because he's so young. He's only a freshman. Just give him this experience, and I think he's going to be really good in the future. I mean, he's already good now, but I think next couple of years he'll take it to like a higher level.
Well, we've got a really young women's cross country team.
We
too.
do.
So Sierra McMahon, we're going to look to see her mature and blossom over the next few events that we have. But we have this one coming up for the championship, and exchanged some emails with Coach Gaither this morning. He's excited they're going and packing their bags and ready for the weekend. And we'll see what happens after that. We will come with results for you next time on Sand Shark Bite. So stick around. We're going to have our last show one of these days. It's going to happen.
We have to have a big
the end of the year thing, but we'll figure out what else is going on. The only other, there's a rumor there's a golf tournament, but we have no good solid information on it.
Yeah, the players are saying they have a golf tournament, but it's not on the website or anything. So we
just picked this information up a few minutes ago. So if there is a golf tournament, we'll give you results of that next week as well. Women's golf is done. They don't play again until February. We have some track and or field events coming up here shortly. We're going to kick off this calendar, this academic year's track and field with some indoor events. There's a pole vaulting event coming up on the 18th.
Pole vaulting.
Inside pole vaulting. We couldn't do it here. We don't have the space for it.
You know, that's a team. The pole vaulters. They're a really cool group of people. I did catch up with Carlos on them last year, and they're absolutely crazy. Like, there is no way I would run with this pole and jump over something that's like 10 feet and then like just land on my back. There's no way. But you know, they're good people. They have the Hutchinson twins.
The Hutchinson twins. And if you don't know the Hutchinson twins, you have not seen Shakespeare as it was meant to be performed. These two are interesting and exciting characters on this campus. And let them tell you the story about how they rescued a squirrel and kept it as a pet.
They had a pet squirrel, and they would bring it to pole vault practice. I'm not sure how they didn't get kicked out of housing, but they had a pet squirrel.
And that's not the craziest thing I've heard about them, but the things that makes me want to shake my head the most. But I love those kids. They're good guys. And if you need somebody to have your back, I think they'd be there for you. We'll have, as we get more results in, we don't have a whole lot of track and field events that will begin in earnest in the spring. There's some small kickoff events that'll be happening through November. Baseball and softball, though, they're right around the corner. It feels like it's not even November, and I've got baseball and softball on the mind. They're going to kick off the first weekend of February here at home. The second for the baseball team, and the softball team will kick off on the third. Busy weekend. So eat your Wheaties and charge your batteries.
For baseball this year, I'm really excited because you guys probably know it's like I did commentating for the baseball team and softball too. But so baseball is the sport that I cover the most here, like I know the most about. And we lost some good talent last year, but I believe we've recruited some good players too. So I think this year, in my opinion, the pitching's what we really got to focus on, because at times last year it was a little inconsistent. But if our pitching's improved, and we have guys that can hit, like you guys got like Bobby Wenthy, Alex Murphy. We have a couple new kids that are coming in that can apparently just hit it. I'm really excited to see what this team can do.
We're missing Julio Pena, who's still going to be around, but he's not going to be pitching for us this spring. All they's guys who are still walking around, but they haven't quite graduated yet. They're out of eligibility. So
we still though have guys like Zach Burke, who I believe is going to be the ace. He's going to be our number one. He pitched really well last year. We got guys like Nick Constant, he's more of a reliever last year, but I think he comes in, he starts pitching. And then we got Paxton Buckner, who he's been doing really well. Last year he's been showing a lot of improvement, and I think he's going to take one of these.
This is his year.
Rotation.
Get that 6'5" frame hurling it downhill. Yeah, just gotta point the cannon in the right direction and get that ball across the plate. And Tristan Triplett playing in the infield. All those infielders who got running around.
We should have Chris Vasquez should be healthy, and that was a big loss last year because he went down. And we really didn't have any of our primary infielders.
That rotating infield last year that we couldn't quite.
We had a catcher playing second and base and shortstop, and obviously
everybody played shortstop at some point. But
I think Brandon Joyce was there for a while.
and he's gone now too, but. Anyhow, we're depressed that some of the people have left us, but we're excited about the prospects that are coming up. But that's still 2 months away, but I'm excited already.
And then with softball, same thing. They've gotten some talent. And what I like about the softball team is they're so young. We're going to have these players for a while. Like last year's freshman class, we got players like Taylor Boykin, Kaylin O'Hearn, and I mean
Haley Hawkins, Jordan Roney.
We're going to have these players now for a while, not just this year. Next year, we're going to have them for probably like 3 years. And I mean, then we also have Kayla Boyle coming back, who I believe she's a stud. I really like watching her play. Really driven player, motivated. She's really good softball player.
And like I said, you guys live these short lives here at campus, and I still think of her as being a freshman.
I know,
and
it's crazy.
She's a junior.
I'm a senior.
Is she a senior?
No,
oh,
I'm
you're
a senior.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, not yet.
It's a whole thing.
So I was talking to her, and she's like, "I'm coming for Marissa Becker's record for most hits."
Oh, there you go.
Her dad Lawrence is like a huge fan. He watches this, so what's up, Lawrence? You're probably watching right now, but huge fan of this. And she's like, "Yeah, my dad wants the record." So
well, good. Well, I hope she reaches that goal. So it's exciting things happening on the horizon. Tying some things up here. And that's we've touched on about every sport we can touch on.
I think we have.
I think all 9 sports today we've discussed. So
now it's time for a little catching up action.
A little catching up with Carlo. What's the catching up with Carlo topic today? Canadians.
Canadian edition. So
outstanding. So it's going to be about 2/3 as valuable to you, and I don't know. It's funny. That's my only Canadian joke. All right. So let's catch up with Carlo, even though he's right here.
Welcome back to Catch Up with Carlo. I'm your host, Carlo Perusa, and today we're going to have a Canadian edition. We're going to talk to the Canadians on the golf team, and we're going to really see how Canadian they really are. Bobby, what do you miss about Canada the most?
I'd have to go with playing hockey, 4 seasons, and the food. Miss the pizza.
I miss Toronto. I'm from Toronto. I miss the big city. That's really it. I mean, I'm just a Toronto kid.
Honestly, I miss playing hockey with the boys all the time. I kind of miss the snow, to be honest. It's an acquired taste, but it's good stuff. Miss Tim Hortons. I don't know. And to be honest, I kind of miss the cold weather. I kind of like putting your toques and mitts on and your parka and going to hang out, chilling outside. It's a good time. It is.
So do you miss watching Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday night?
We kind of make do. Me and Mark watch Wednesday night rivalries on NBC. Good little time.
So you guys watch a lot of hockey in your dorm?
Once a week, because it's the only option we have.
I live with 2 Canadians, so I spend a lot of time watching hockey.
If you could have anything from Canada here, what would it be?
I'm going to have to go with the RCMP, actually, the Royal Canadian Mounted. Absolutely.
Never actually seen one with my own eyes, but I don't know. We got some pretty sweet attire compared to the cops down here.
They're really good dudes. They're super chill. They got wicked hats. Their uniforms are like really sweet. Yeah, they're like ride around in red coats, cool top hats. Yeah, they're dope.
How about Tim's? Would you bring a Tim's on campus?
I would. I do like Tim's.
You like your Tim Hortons?
Yeah.
Honestly, every morning back home, you get up, you go get a double-double, and you go to class. It's just part of your daily routine.
Mark, could you please tell our viewers what a double-double is?
So in your coffee, you put 2 cream and 2 sugar. I'm trying to wean off the 2 cream, 2 sugar, and just bump it down to being a regular guy, 1 cream, 1 sugar. But we'll get there eventually. Maybe it'll come with age. But I'm for right now. I'm a double-double kind of guy.
Have you ever golfed in the snow?
A couple times, and you get the snow kind of going in the corners. You get ice on the pond. You start hitting little stingers off the ice. It's a good time.
Like, take some hacks at it. You miss. Can't find the ball. It's no fun.
So I'm guessing you've done this before?
A couple times, yeah. Yeah, a couple times. It's hard.
Can you please explain to our viewers what a stinger is?
It's when you hit it about Mark Sweeney height. You just hit a little rocket off the tee. It doesn't go very far, but it'll roll out there. That's how Mark gets it out there for a little guy.
He's a small guy.
Almost as small as me.
And that's a wrap for this week
I'm Carlo Perusa. Stay tuned.
At the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, we offer small classes, individual attention, and an affordable education in an atmosphere that fosters diversity and achievement.
We are students.
We field 9 Sandshark sports teams that compete in the Sun Conference.
We are athletes.
We are one university with 2 campuses serving the coastal areas of South Carolina and Georgia.
We are the Low Country.
We are the fastest growing 4-year school in the University of South Carolina system. We are USCB.
I'm just going to say that one of the greatest additions we've made to Sandshark Bites over the years is the addition of the Catching Up with Carlo segment. I don't know what we're going to do when you leave. We may have to do it once a year, Catching Up with Carlo, depending on where you end up. But coming from a folding table with Bracken, Lambert, and JJ back in the trailers, this show has come to be something exciting, and with no small part to your contributions, and also behind the camera, Zach Caramelagos, who's produced this set and all this stuff for us. It's just been great.
Catching Up with Carlo, honestly, like, I didn't even know that was going to be a thing.
It became a thing, man.
When I first came to the start of the school, I've always wanted to be in broadcasting. That's always been what I've wanted to do. And I never really thought about doing something like Catching Up with Carlo. And finally, I asked Justin Jarrett after a baseball game my sophomore year. I was like, hey, man, do you think I could do some interviews? And he's like, you know what? We do this show, Sandshark Bites. Why don't you do something called Catching Up with Carlo? I'm like, Catching Up with Carlo. So I thought about it. And at first they were a little hesitant. They didn't know what was going to happen. So I did the first one with the baseball team.
Which was, you should go into the archives.
Just went off.
It's brilliant. It's a moment in time.
It's in the Catching Up with Carlo Hall of Fame right there.
Yeah. So anyhow, nice job as always. Way to go. I'm glad you're getting something out of your education here, and hopefully something useful to you. So for the last, we've come to the end of it. We talked about every sport. We've talked about Carlo. And now we've got to award our Sandshark Player of the Week. And for this week, we could have gone. We only had soccer to talk about, but
pretty much 2 options.
And MJ certainly scored a goal, but we want to talk about one player who has really worked her way into becoming a leader on the team, and who the team has rallied around. We saw them all wearing their Newman Strong T-shirts last week, recognizing her dad and the trials he's facing, but we're all supporting him behind him here at the University of South Carolina, Beaufort. We will all be Newman Strong where we can and when we can. So for this week, Brooke Newman, you are the Sandshark Bites Player of the Week. Congratulations. And for everybody else, we'll see you next week. Keep those fins up.